Oh, I didn't see you there. I was just about to read the story of Valk and her connection to Titanfall 2 and go over the lore. Will you want to join me? Well, let's begin. Once upon a time. Okay, so going into the trailer, I think it's really important I give you guys a breakdown of the major players that are going to be in this trailer and what they mean, because otherwise you'll be asking questions like, what the hell does the snake have to do with any of this? The first one up is Blisk. Now, Blisk is a South African mercenary pilot. He was an IMC ranking commander, but the important thing to know here is he is the creator of the faction known as Apex Predators, which is a mercenary faction, and he was also the main antagonist in Titanfall 2. And last, but most importantly, he is the creator of the Apex games themselves. One of the key members of Blisk's Apex Predator mercenary group was Viper, who was also an antagonist in Titanfall 2. He had a heavily modified Northstar chassis, which is a type of Titan. Right here, we're gonna get an image of the Northstar, which is the Titan class that is based on the Strider chassis design. It's built on high mobility and precision attacks. It has a railgun and cluster missiles, which we've seen with Valk as possibly one of her tacticals or ultimates. But the main thing here is that it allowed for increased movement speed while airborne with the Viper thrusters, hence the name Viper for the father. Did I say father? Yes, I did, because he is the father of Valk, the newest legend for season 9/legacy of Apex Legends. As you can see here in the left, it is the Karen form of Valk, where she is an adult, and on the right hand side is the trailer version you see quite a bit, which is the child Valkyrie. And the last major player to go over for the teaser is going to be Rampart. Now, most of you who are familiar with Apex Legends should know her. She is a legend added in season 6, known for her modding abilities and other such things. She is heavily featured here as she is going to be turning the Titan into Valkyrie's wings to allow for her flight control. Also, good on Respawn for making her look very curvy. God damn is all I can say. Right in the beginning of the trailer, we see a destroyed planet in the background, and that is Typhon. And it was a planet that was having a major war fought on it during Titanfall 2 between the IMC and the Frontier Militia. As that battle and war was raging on, Viper was killed, who was Valkyrie's father, and she finds his helmet on the moon here after his body, I assume, was shot off the planet due to the explosion. Now, we're going to go ahead and fast forward to her meeting with Blisk, which happens just moments after this. It's at this point that we're introduced to Kuben Blisk, the leader of the Apex Predators and the creator of the Apex Legends games. Valkyrie pretends that she's never met him before, but he definitely feels as if he has met her. Then she notices the Apex Predator card right there on his chest, and we get a flashback back to when she was a kid. As we can see here, she's looking at the Northstar training manual operation on her dad's Titan, how it runs and everything like that. We can get the notion and the sense that she is very, very interested. Right there is a Nessie, by the way, right in the top right corner. So I did spot that. I hope you guys did as well. But we know that she's very much into the Apex Predators in the lore, and we get our first look at Blisk as he was when he was younger. We can see that he has all the color in his hair, and that Valkyrie is very defensive and a little bit taken aback. And then we get to see Viper for the first time without his helmet. This is Viper, Valkyrie's dad, and Apex Predator that was killed by Jack Cooper and BT, the main protagonists of Titanfall 2. Then we go back to the present timeline where we have Valkyrie and Blisk once again sitting at a bar, but Valkyrie is keeping a gun at her hip pointed towards Blisk as a form of probably revenge for getting her father killed during what happened on Typhon. Then we go back again to when she was a child with the infamous chicken right there, and then the Northstar Titan, what Viper uses that's been heavily modified, and she goes ahead and gets it all set up. The chicken, quite startled by this, is not happy, but that's just the way it works. She then goes ahead and just basically maneuvers it, and this reminded me a ton of Dragon Ball. I don't know if anyone else got the references or the feeling there, but it reminded me a ton of Kid Goku running around in the mountains, flying around. This whole scene was just really, really well done. This is some of the best animation I've seen Respawn put out there with whatever studio they're partnering with. Everything about this was absolutely wonderful. Now, as she's flying around, unfortunately, she gets caught in a battle between the IMC and the Frontier Militia, and it's very important to know that Titans require a pilot. A pilot is very much superhuman. Think Captain America or a downgraded version of Master Chief from Halo. They are not capable of being piloted efficiently by a child or a regular human. This causes her to go ahead and get knocked around a lot, and she begins to lose altitude and crash. This is where Viper comes in, and you're actually going to notice Viper, her dad, is landing without any kind of pack on his back. He manages to eject his daughter from the Titan, but not before he can get into it himself. As he's falling with the Titan, you can also go ahead and see he is wearing that helmet that Valkyrie finds in the beginning of the trailer. Now Valkyrie wakes up after the crash underneath the parachute and sees the downed Titan in a field across from her. She runs over to go check on her father, and luckily Viper crawls out from the Titan unscathed, but he has a very solemn look on his face, and I think it's because he's realized the IMC and the Frontier Militia are fighting. He's going to be called to go with Blisk as a part of this mercenary group known as the Apex Predators to go ahead and fight, and that's what ends up happening. He bids his daughter farewell. He goes with Blisk and walks out the door, leaving Valkyrie with just her mother. You'll also notice outside the window are a couple of the other Titans and pilots from the Apex Predator mercenary group. We then jump back to the present where Valkyrie has pulled a gun on Blisk, saying, "Viper may have left because of me, but he's dead because of you, Blisk." And Blisk says no, he knew what he was fighting for, and Valkyrie wells up a little bit and has some tears and memories from her father where they were going ahead and flying around. She puts on his helmet a little bit, and then something startling happens. She fires her gun, but instead of hitting Blisk, she shatters the glass he is holding, takes the calling card of the Apex Predators, puts it on the table, and lets him know, "My name is Valkyrie." And then that is the cue for her to be joining Apex Legends as the newest contestant in the Outlands. We then cut to a scene of Rampart in a machine room where she is modifying the Northstar Titan that belonged to Viper. She is taking the wings slash jetpack off, and she's going to be modifying it for a kit, allowing Valkyrie to use that flight ability, which will be one of her abilities in Season 9. This is the first bit of information and clues we have into the naming of the 9th season of Apex Legends, which is going to be Legacy, as Valkyrie is the legacy of her father, Viper, and the Apex Predators. So that's going to be my video today, guys, on the lore of Valkyrie. I hope you enjoyed it. If you already knew all this stuff, I hope maybe it was just entertaining for you, and if you didn't, I hope you learned something new, a bit about the lore of Apex Legends. As always, I got to go over who was first in the last 4 days in the last 4 videos, and that's Javier, Yumper Jumper, Clover, and City. Congratulations on being first, you guys. Until next time, Legends, keep slaying in the Outlands, and I'll see you out there.